Psychedelics and yoga. A lot of spiritual traditions, scriptures say that yoga and drugs cannot go hand in hand. However, sometimes psychedelics can act like a good entry point into yoga, into our spiritual journey, because usually our consciousness is so strongly embedded in physical realm that it's so difficult for us to conceive that there's something beyond it. And when we try psychedelics for the first time, sometimes our boundaries shatter and we open out into something wider, and we can see things that we usually don't see, and we can also experience things that we usually don't experience. However, there are 3 dangers of doing psychedelics, especially if you're on the path of yoga. Firstly, there are different realms of consciousness like physical, vital, mental, and then higher realms like Satchitananda. But when you take a psychedelic drug, you usually open out to the consciousness that you are already in. So usually these layers are not too high. So you open out universally, but something to a lower grade of consciousness. And secondly, when people do drugs continuously, when people do psychedelics, they kind of punch holes in their aura. And they punch holes quite violently. So the beings of these other worlds can have influence on you, which is again not very good. And thirdly, when we leave our body, it becomes difficult for our being to integrate with the pure consciousness from which we come, because when we have holes in our aura and when we continuously expose ourselves to these lower grades of consciousness, we tend to open out to that first. We stay in those realms a little bit before we integrate back to the pure consciousness. So these are the 3 reasons why it's best to avoid doing psychedelics, especially if you're on the spiritual path.